this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. We are living in a very different world than we were just 1 year ago. I mean, if you're in crypto, the differences between then and now could not be more stark. Look at this headline from the block. Hashdex expands crypto ETF to include XRP, Solana, after SEC greenlights broader listing standards. So, yes, indeed, this does mean that XRP was approved by the SEC to be in a crypto ETF today. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, to kick things off here, I do want to note, because I know that some people may have missed this story, but it's a big one, this actually isn't the first such instance. The first one, for the United States anyway, happened a week ago. Here's the headline from Cointelegraph, September 18th of this year. SEC approves first U.S. multi-asset crypto ETP from Grayscale. And I will note that this is an ETF, and an ETF is a type of ETP. So every single ETF is an ETP, but not every ETP is an ETF. There are a few different types of ETPs. So I wish they would have just put ETF in the title here, because that does confuse some people. I mean, it's not technically wrong, but if you just wrote ETF, that would be more descriptive and more precise. So I just wish they do. I don't know why they don't, but yes, this is an ETF that was approved. We got the news a week ago, and absolutely XRP is a part of this. Look at this. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission approved the first multi-asset cryptocurrency exchange-traded product in the United States, clearing Grayscale's Digital Large Cap Fund, GLDC is the ticker symbol, for listing. The fund will offer exposure to 5 of the world's largest cryptocurrencies, be Bitcoin, Ether, XRP, Solana, and Cardano. The approval, disclosed in a filing on Wednesday, marks a milestone for the digital asset industry and allows the success of U.S. spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds. A multi-asset crypto ETP gives traditional investors an easy way to gain exposure to several cryptocurrencies without opening accounts or exchanges or purchasing the tokens directly. Okay, and so people like me, and I'm assuming that this is going to be the case for most of you, you prefer to hold the crypto yourself, and hopefully that doesn't mean it's just sitting on Coinbase or whatever your exchange of choice is. But there are a lot of people that have no interest in signing up for a new account with Kraken, Binance, Coinbase, so on and so forth. But when they're on their existing platform where they buy and sell stocks and ETFs, well, if now there's this new option to get exposure to this new asset class, there are a ton of people, absolutely, that will flood the market. And when they do so, even though they're like, whoever buys this ETF, it's a multi-coin ETF with XRP in it, they're not buying the coins themselves. They own the ETF, but the company that launches the ETF backs it and all the purchases with actual crypto, with actual XRP. So this absolutely impacts the supply and demand dynamics for XRP. And so again, that was the 18th, September 18th. The next day, this thing went live. The CNBC's covering the story here, and they wrote in part, the Grayscale CoinDesk Crypto 5 ETF begins trading Friday on New York Stock Exchange under the ticker GDLC. The fund bundles together the 5 largest and most liquid digital assets: Bitcoin, Ether, XRP, Solana, and Cardano. These 5 tokens, check this out, folks. I don't know if you realize this, but these 5 tokens capture more than 90% of the market capitalization of the digital asset class, according to Grayscale. So think about all the tens of thousands of cryptocurrencies that are tracked by, like, CoinMarketCap, for example. Just 5 of those coins, including XRP, account for 90% of the value of the entire crypto asset class. So the fact that they're already deemed the most important, the winners of the space to this point, so they're already getting the wild success, and that includes XRP. That's going to result in even more success. Liquidity begets liquidity, as Chris Larson said over a decade ago, and he was absolutely correct. If you're jumping into crypto, yeah, you're going to feel safer betting in those coins that have already dominated. Absolutely, that's the case. This is the amount of money that's going to flow into XRP that otherwise wouldn't have. I don't know what the number's going to be, but it will be staggering, especially over a span of years and decades. Mark my words, it's going to be absolutely huge. And so then we just got another one today. That brings us to the brand new article. Hashdex expands crypto ETF to include XRP Solana after SEC greenlights broader listing standards. And this never would have happened under the previous administration. And if the election in November didn't go the way that it did, you would not be seeing this. Gensler would still be in charge, and the attacks would continue, and your net worth would be lower today than it is. Piece reads as follows. Hashdex Asset Management Ltd. And NASDAQ Global Indexes said it has expanded their exchange-traded product to include other cryptocurrencies, including XRP and Solana, following the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission's approval of generic listing standards, opening the doors for dozens of different types of crypto funds. The Hashdex NASDAQ Crypto Index US ETF, with the ticker symbol NCIQ, initially included Bitcoin and Ether, but now will also include Stellar, XRP, and Solana, according to a statement on Thursday. Thanks to recent regulatory updates and the approval of generic listing standards, NCIQ is expanding today and will adapt over time as new assets meet the indexes and listing requirements, said Samir Kurbaj, CIO at Hashdex, in the statement. So, folks, XRP, it's on, as I showed you in the previous article, it's on the New York Stock Exchange. And yeah, it's because it's part of a multi-coin ETF, but my God. You understand, like, this is what we've been waiting for, to get these listing standards and to make everything uniform, which did take them some time to do. You know that this makes it about 100% certainty you're going to see multiple spot XRP ETFs get approved also. It's not just going to be multi-coin stuff. And yes, I'm excited to see this. That's why I'm making a video about it. But there's going to be all sorts of individual spot XRP ETFs getting approved as well. You know that's next. That is going to have a material difference, much to the positive, in terms of the price of XRP on a global scale. Again, mark my words on that. It's absolutely going to come. Anyway, piece continues. Last week, the SEC approved listing standards proposed by 3 exchanges, asking the agency to change a rule governing the trading and listing of commodity-based trust shares, which sets out specific requirements to have certain shares listed on their exchanges. The approval means that dozens of crypto ETF applications could go live soon, and pivotally reduces the timeline for those funds to begin trading. Folks, this is what we were waiting for everybody wondering, why is the SEC delaying the launch of XRP ETFs, which they have done, and not just XRP, they've delayed all sorts of ETFs. This is why. This needed to get done first. They want it all uniforms, they want to get their ducks in a row, and then, after aligning the ducks, they're going to approve a metric fuck ton of crypto ETFs, including ones for XRP. That is coming. That will be huge news. The agency initially approved the Hashdex NASDAQ Crypto Index US ETF in December when it held spot Bitcoin and Ether. Now, amid a change in a presidential administration and a friendlier crypto regulatory environment, dozens of firms are awaiting the SEC sign-off on funds that track a bunch of different digital assets, many of which are likely to get approved imminently. Yep, you're damn right about that. That's exactly what that means. It is indeed coming. We just got to wait a little tiny baby boo bit longer, but one day you're going to wake up and you're just going to see, oh, how about that? Spot XRP ETFs approved. And that's the type of thing, like in a bull market, that news alone can cause the price of XRP to pump. So I don't make predictions along those lines. I'm just saying, if that happens, I'll not be surprised. I won't even be surprised like a tiny little bit right here. Also, I wanted to mention this briefly. So the dipshits over at Cointelegraph, God bless them. I bless their hearts. They falsely stated that XRP is the native coin of Ripple payments. Let me find the exact wording here. It's right here. So they have this article, and it sounds positive. XRP as Wall Street's dark horse. Why some funds see it like Bitcoin. Okay, so even when they're trying to be positive, they can't help but accidentally FUD XRP effectively. So they wrote here, now attention is shifting to XRP, the native digital asset of Ripple's payments network. No, you idiot sticks. That is not correct. XRP is native only to the XRP ledger. It's not native to anything that Ripple's created. It's used in Ripple's proprietary software. It is not native to it. Oh my God. And you know what else they said down here too, and I'll point this out. And I read most of this article. Eventually, I was just, this is stupid. I was like, come on. Like, if they can't get these basic facts right, why do I even care what the hell they have to say? So I thought I'd correct it on my channel here. Maybe it's on this. It might be this part. Was it lower? Maybe it was here. They had a section. Oh, yeah. Look at this. Right now, 7 spot XRP ETF filings are under SEC review, with Solana slightly ahead with 8. In total, there are 92 crypto-related proposals. No, you idiots. That's absolutely not correct. There are actually 11 firms, as properly cited by A Invest. Look at this headline. This is from back in April. 11 asset managers file XRP ETFs with SEC. Yeah, that's correct. So they got that factually incorrect as well. And there are technically, I think it's more like 16 or 17 different XRP-related ETFs that have been filed, but it's 11 companies that are filing them. And some of those were levered products, so on and so forth. So anyway, I thought I'd just correct that. And just, come on, Cointelegraph. Like, get with it, man. Like, get with it. Yeah, no, there's no other coin beyond after Bitcoin. There's no other altcoin for which there is more interest to have a spot ETF than there is in XRP, and that should tell you something. The demand for XRP, I mean, it's obviously through the roof, but the demand for investment vehicles like spot ETFs, it's going to be through the roof for XRP. I don't know about you folks, but I'm excited to see how this all goes down. I think it's going to be absolutely huge. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.